This is 11th zoology video class, afternoon session of this day. The picture what you are seeing is, the insects what you are seeing is, you know what it is. It is a cockroach. It is a cockroach. Today we are going to learn new topic in chapter 4. The name of chapter is organ and organ systems in animals. The chapter we are going to see is the one cockroach. The picture what I shown you is the one cockroach. We'll see just general informations about the cockroach. We'll see few informations about the cockroach. So cockroach is found in different parts of the world. Different parts of the world. They exhibit all fundamental characteristics of class Insecta. So they exhibit all fundamental characteristics of class Insecta. If you see this cockroach, it is reddish brown. It is reddish brown or black bodies with light brown margin with the first thorax segment. They are called as a omnivorous, and they also called as a nocturnal animal. They also called as a nocturnal animal. What do you mean by nocturnal animal? It means they search the food only at night time. That is, they called as a nocturnal animals, nocturnal insects. These insects, they come out to search food only at night time. That is why it is also nocturnal insects. And they can live in damp and warm place, and they are quite common in the kitchen and hotels and bakeries and restaurants and different places are these insects can be available. The scientific name of this insect is the one Periplaneta americana. Periplaneta americana, and it is a dioecious animals, which means male and female will be separated one. Male and female will be found separate one. That is what we call as a dioecious animal, and it is a oviparous animal. What do you mean by oviparous? They lay egg and hatch out young one. That is because of oviparous animal. And they exhibit parental care. So until the young ones just they grow for certain age, certain month, this parent has to take care. They'll take care. That is what is called. That is called as a parental care. They carry with them harmful germs. Okay. So the harmful germs are found in the cockroach. Due to the harmful germs presence in the cockroach, there are a few diseases may cause through this cockroach. What are the diseases? Cholera and diarrhea, tuberculosis and typhoid. So since they cause all this disease by bacteria, it is called as, this cockroach called as a vector one. What do you mean by vector? Vector means transmitter. Vector means what? Transmit. What do they transmit? They transmit disease. That is we call as a vector one. The next we'll see the classifications of this cockroach. You see the classifications of this cockroach: phylum Arthropoda, class Insecta, then order Arthroptera. Repeat all of you: Arthroptera. Arthroptera. Order Arthroptera. Then genus Periplaneta. Genus is the one Periplaneta. Then species Americana. So this is what classifications of this Periplaneta americana. They'll ask you 2 marks. Just note it down. Now we'll see the morphology structure of this cockroach. We'll see the morphology structure of this cockroach. So see the cockroach, they are 2 to 4 centimeter length. They are 2 to 4 centimeter length and 1 centimeter in width. Okay, 1 centimeter is the one, width 1, and length 1 is the one, 2 to 4 centimeter. See the cockroach is compressed dorsoventrally and bilateral symmetrical. So dorsoventral, dorsal side also will be there and ventral side also will be there, and bilaterally symmetrical. The both side, the lateral sides were somewhat symmetrical shape. That is which is called as a symmetrical and segmented, and it is divisible into three distinct regions. It is divisible into three distinct regions. That is head. Yeah, this is what we call as a head, and thorax and abdomen one. Just I'll show you head, thorax and abdomen one. Here can you all see, this is what head, and below that head that is a thorax one, and afterward this is what we call as a abdomen. This is what we call as a abdominal one. Okay, and the entire body is covered by a hard, okay, that hard one and brown color. You can say chitinous or chitinous exoskeletons. So it is covered by, the entire body is covered by a hard shell-like structures. Okay, not shell means what? Somewhat it is for these insects it is somewhat hard one. Okay, that is a hard and brown color and chitinous exoskeleton. So the skeleton seems to be false one. That is what it is called as an exoskeleton. And segments, if you see the segments of this one, and each segments, the exoskeleton is as hardened plates called as a sclerites. Each segment, here if you find the segment, yes, I'll show you the segment. If you find this segment, each segment exoskeleton has a hardened plate like structures called as a sclerites. So here this is a segment. So here this each segments seems to be a hardened plate like structures, that is we call as a sclerites. Hardened plate like structures, that is we call as a sclerites. Okay, the sclerites, if you see the sclerites which are joined together by delicate and elastic articular membrane. The sclerites is segments which are joined together, which means fused together, which is delicate means somewhat soft one. Okay, as well as the elastic articulate membranes are present in the sclerites. What do you mean by sclerites? The segment which are made up of the hard plate like structure, that is we call as a sclerites. That sclerites joined together by delicate and elastic articular membrane. What do you mean by articular membrane? Each and every segment just joined together. Articular means joined, or another name we can say as a arthrodial membrane. The sclerites just fused together, joined together with a delicate and elastic membrane, or we can say that elastic membrane. Another word we can say arthrodial membrane. If you see the sclerites, what do you mean by sclerites? I told you that that segment which has a hard plate like structure, that is we call sclerites. If you see the sclerites on the dorsal side, I'll show you here. This is what the dorsal side. Okay, the dorsal sides of sclerites we call as a tergites. The dorsal sides of sclerites we call as a tergites, as well as the ventral side of the sclerites, ventral side of the segment we call as a sternites. Again, I'll just repeat. What do you mean by sclerites? The segment of this cockroach which are placed as a hard plate like structure, that is we call as sclerites. That sclerites, if you observe that's a dorsal side of the sclerites, that is we call as a tergites. And if you observe that's the ventral side of the sclerites, that is we call as a ternites. And those of lateral sides here, this is what we call as a lateral sides, that is we call as a pleurites. That is we call as a pleurites one. That is we call as a pleurites one. Okay. The next we'll see the head part of the cockroach. Head part of the cockroach. The head of cockroach is small and triangular. So this head lies on the right angle of the longitudinal body axis. Longitudinal body axis. If you see the mouth parts are just placed downwards, that since the mouth parts are placed downwards, it is called as a hypognathos. mouth parts are placed downwards, it is called as a hypognathos. Here in this mouth parts, this hypognathos are formed by fusion of 6 segments. In this mouth parts, that mouth part, since it is located downward, that is also hypognathos. The hypognathos are formed by fusion of 6 segments and show mobility in all the directions. What do you mean mobility? Where that mouth parts which are linked with the 6 segments, where they can move in all the directions. That is because they say as a mobility in all directions. Due to flexible necks. Due to flexible neck one. Okay. In the head they have one kidney shaped compound eyes. The head capsule bears a pair of large sessile. What do you mean by sessile? Sessile means attached. Sessile means placed. One place. That is a sessile. And reniform compound eyes. What do you mean by reniform compound eyes? Reniform means here the eyes are, the structure of eyes is one kidney shape. That is we call as a reniform. If you can find this kidney shape here, this is a reniform kidney shape. The size of the eye of the cockroach is the one kidney shaped one. Okay, and if you see the head parts, a pair of antennae are located and appendages are around the mouth. Appendage. What do you mean by appendage? The parts which are present around the mouth, that is because appendage. The parts which are present around the mouth, that is because appendages. Then antennae are used for the sensory receptors. Antennae are used for the sensory receptors. Okay. So that sensory receptor, that antennae helps to monitoring the environment. That antennae helps to monitoring the environment. Okay. And with this, just we'll wind up our class. Just go through. Today we are discuss cockroach information. We have discussed the cockroach information. Few information just we have discussed, and we have started the classifications, and we have seen the morphology structure of cockroach. Just go through. If you have doubt, you can contact me through WhatsApp number. Okay, bye. Take care.